My daughter spent 14 months filling 8 sketchbooks. I want you to understand what that means before I say anything else. Maya started drawing seriously the week after her 9th birthday, when my father gave her a set of professional colored pencils and a hardcover sketchbook. He died 4 months later. Those pencils and that first sketchbook became sacred to her. By this spring, she had 8 volumes lined up on her shelf in order. Portraits, imagined landscapes, comic strips she invented herself, wildlife drawings she spent weeks perfecting. She'd saved birthday money for months just to buy the thicker sketchbooks, the kind where ink doesn't bleed through. She showed every finished page to anyone willing to sit still long enough. My brother Daniel and I have always been close, though his wife Dana has made that harder over the years. She's dismissive in a way that's hard to name directly, and Daniel spends most of his energy smoothing things over. They have a son named Ryan, who just turned 12. I've tried to build something with him. Some visits it works. Daniel and Dana have been in a tight spot financially for a while. I've covered their car insurance twice and helped with a medical bill last winter. When Ryan's travel soccer registration came up, $400, Dana mentioned they couldn't manage it. I paid through the club portal the same afternoon. The season started in 3 weeks. Last Sunday, they dropped Ryan off while they ran errands. Maya was excited to show him her newest sketchbook. 6 weeks of wildlife drawings she'd been developing from reference photos into her own style. She told me recently she wanted to eventually bind all 8 volumes together into something that felt like a real collection. 20 minutes after they went upstairs, I heard a sound from my daughter I'd never heard before. Not a scream, something lower and more desperate, the sound a person makes when they realize something is already gone. I set down what I was doing and went still for a moment just to make sure I'd heard it right. I got to her doorway and stopped. Ryan had pulled 4 sketchbooks off the shelf. 2 were bent backward hard enough to crack their spines. Pages had been torn out and balled up on the floor. A water bottle had been tipped across an open book and the ink had dissolved into shadows. Maya was standing at the shelf with both arms wrapped around the first sketchbook, the one from her grandfather. I asked Ryan what happened. He shrugged and said the drawings were kind of babyish and he was just looking and they slipped. The torn pages on the floor made that impossible to believe. I sent him downstairs. I sat with Maya until she stopped shaking. She didn't say much. At one point she said quietly, "I can't redraw Grandpa's one. I can't make it the same." Dana came back about an hour later. I walked her upstairs and showed her the room. She looked around and said Maya shouldn't leave her things out if she didn't want them touched. She said Ryan was just being a curious kid. She said she was sorry but couldn't do anything about it now. I asked her to cover the damaged sketchbooks and the pencils that had been snapped. She said she didn't have that money and I knew it. I pulled out my phone and opened the soccer club portal right in front of her. I withdrew Ryan from the roster. The registration was non-refundable, but the system allowed a credit transfer to another account. I moved it to Maya's name for the junior art workshop she'd been asking about all spring. Dana's voice went flat. She said I was being vindictive. She said Ryan had been looking forward to that season for months. I said Maya had been building those books for over a year, and one of them had her grandfather in it, and it was gone. Dana picked up Ryan's bag and walked out without another word. Daniel called that night. I told him everything from the beginning. He was quiet for a long time. Then he said, "I'm sorry, I'll talk to her." I don't know what that conversation looked like, but Maya starts her workshop on Saturday. She's already filling volume 9.